Hi guys, and welcome to our 4th online PE lesson. By the end of today's lesson, you are going to be able to perform and describe a variety of different shapes, rolls and balances. We are then going to be using the Greatest Showman as our theme and creating our very own routines. Now, all you are going to need to take part in today's activity is a nice safe space, and we're going to be creating our very own crash mats. Now, to do that, I'm going to be using 2 sofa cushions and a throw. So yeah, once you've found a safe space and once you've created your crash mat, let's get going. Okay guys, so to start off with today's lesson, we're going to be looking at a couple of key shapes, then we're going to be progressing to looking at rolls and balances, until finally we're going to use all the skills that we've looked at today and we're going to create our very own routines to the theme of Greatest Showman. Okay, so yeah, let's get going. Now, just to start off with, I'm only using a throw because I'm a little bit too big to use the couch cushions for some of the shapes and some of the rolls. Okay, so the first shape we are going to look at today is called pike. All you are going to do, you are going to keep your legs stretched out in front of you, point your toes downwards, make sure that your legs are nice and neat and close together, back straight, arms parallel in front of you, head up facing forwards, so you've got a nice straight posture, and this is called pike position. Okay, now the next shape that we are going to look at is very similar to that of pike, but instead of having our legs together and in front of us, we're going to open them up and form a triangle just like this. Once again, your arms are parallel and in front of you, eyes looking forwards at all times, nice straight back, straight posture, and this is called straddle. Now go as wide as you possibly can without your legs coming up into the air. Try and keep them nice and straight and nice and flat. That is as far as I can go, to be honest with you. And yeah, keep rotating through both shapes so you've got them absolutely perfect. So pike and straddle. Okay, now the second shape that we are going to look at is very similar to that of the press up position, and this is called front support. Okay, so all you're going to do, get into a press up position, hands nice and straight out in front of you, body weight at the top, feet together, plant your toes, head up facing forwards, and this is called front support. Okay, so it is pretty much a press up position. Okay, now the second shape, the opposite of that, this is called back support. All you're going to do, face the opposite way, so this time we're going to be pushing our tummies towards the sky, arms nice and straight, feet pointed, really push your tummy up into the air and head up, and this is called back support, like this. Okay, now you should really feel it in your arms if you're doing it correctly, and again, just see how long you can hold the shape for. So yeah, they are 4 really basic shapes within gymnastics, but they are all really important shapes, and you will see quite a few of those in the next couple of progressions that we are going to be looking at. Okay, so the first roll that we are going to look at in today's lesson, this is called the pencil roll. Okay, so ultimately we're looking to create a nice straight shape of our bodies, so we are pretty much looking like a pencil. So feet together, pointing your toes, and right up in the air, squeezing your ears. So your hands are the tip of the pencil and your feet are the rubber at the bottom. So we're nice and straight, and we want you to keep that shape all the way along the mat. Now, if you are struggling to keep your arms together or your feet together, all you need is a pair of socks, and you've got to squeeze them in between your hands and squeeze them in between your feet, so you've got something to focus on and really keeping them straight and together, because if the socks fall out, that means that your hands or your legs are separated. So yeah, if you are struggling to keep your bodies together, that is what you can do with a pair of socks. So I'm going to set myself up, nice straight pencil, and I'm going to roll along the floor, keeping in my shape all the way along the mat like that. Okay, now the next one is called the egg roll. Okay, so this time, instead of being a nice straight tall shape, we are going to be a really small tucked egg shape. Now I am going to show you a way of doing it, but it's not necessarily the perfect way or the correct way. Experiment, be creative, try different setups. You might want to start on your tummies instead of on your backs, but this is a step-by-step for an egg roll. So I'm going to set myself at the top of my mat, I'm going to bring my knees into my chest. I'm going to point my toes downwards so they're not facing the sky. One hand on each shin. I'm not going to hook my legs. One hand on each shin, elbows at the side, and I don't want to see you dragging yourselves along the floor like you are a snail. So it's really important that we put our hands right up into our knees like this. And then from there, if you're stuck, you can go to the left first. Push, keeping in that small tuck shape, and roll all the way along the floor like that. Okay. So yeah, that's the pencil roll and that is the egg roll. Now what we're going to look at now, and I should have done this at the start, this is another key shape and this is called the shoulder stand. So what we're looking to do, we're going to have our legs right up in the air and we're going to put all of our body weight onto our shoulders and our hands underneath our backs. So nice tuck shape to start off with, hands under our backs like this, toes really straight and tall above us, pushing your toes together, elbows at the side to support you, and yeah, just ultimately see if you can push your back further and further until eventually you don't need your hands there anymore and you can put them on the floor. Wow, it's quite hard to talk and do that, to be honest with you. So yeah, we've looked at front support, back support, straddle, pike and the shoulder stand. We've also looked at the pencil roll and the egg roll. Okay, now going back to rolls, sorry that I missed that out. We are now going to progress the pencil roll into what's called a dish to arch roll. So instead of being a nice straight shape, this time there is a little bit of a curve. Now if you're doing it properly, you'll really feel it in your tummy muscles when you're on your back, and when you're on your front, it's really important that we lift our chest up off the ground and our legs up off the ground. Okay, so yeah, let's see how it goes on the floor. Woo. Make sure you guys are doing it on your crash mats. The only reason that I'm not using my sofa cushions is because I was a little bit too big for it and I was just falling off the side. So yeah, this is a little bit painful, but we'll go for it. So, dish to arch roll. So your setup is really, really important, guys. This time, instead of being in that straight pencil, we're going to have two hands in front of us like this, our legs up in the air, so the only body part that's on the floor when you're on your back is your bottom, and then when you stretch out and go into your tummy, the only part that's on the mat is your tummy, and then we rotate around again, spin our hands with our legs, and that is dish to arch. I'll do it one more time and go back on myself. Oh, go this way. So, lying on your back, legs up in the ground, arms parallel out in front of you, head forwards. Set yourself so that only your bottom is on the floor. Spin, tummy, bottom, tummy. Okay, and make sure you've got enough space to keep nice and straight, obviously, around the space then. Okay, now for the next couple of rows, I am going to set up my, my crash mats using my couch cushions and my throw. Okay, let's get going. Okay guys, so we've had a little bit of an introduction, we've looked at some key shapes, we've looked at the pencil roll and the egg roll and the dish to arch roll as well. Now we're going to progress, we're going to look at the forward roll, the backward roll and a couple of combinations of both of them, the teddy bear roll, and then we're going to progress and look at a few little tricks. Okay, right, so with the forward roll, I'm going to start at the top and then I'll do another one at the bottom then as well, just so you've got two different angles of it. Okay, so first of all, your toes are going to go to the edge of your sofa cushions or whatever you are using as a crash mat. You don't need to start with your feet on top, okay? And they don't need to be really, really far away, just gently touching the outside of your crash mat like that. Feet shoulder width apart, so we're not going to be really, really stretched, we're not going to be glued together, just in line with our hips so we're nice and comfortable. From there, you're going to go down onto your tiptoes and your heels will come off the ground. You are going to put both of your hands on the mat in front of you, not really, really far away, not really, really close, just nice and comfortable. Now, it's really important that we keep our hands there and we do not move them again from this position. From there, we're going to put our chin on our chest, and we're going to stick our bottoms into the air like this. Now, from there, all you need to do to complete the roll is push yourself forward with your feet and do not move your hands. So I'm going to push with feet and land on my back to complete my roll. Now it's really, really important that we present our rolls well. So at the start, once we've got used to it, have a really, really tall position, kind of like your pencil roll again. From there, follow the recipe. So toes touching the edge of the mat, shoulder width apart, crouch, hands, chin, bottom, push, and present at the end. Okay. Now, a little bit of a progression of the forward roll is that we can add our pike and straddle at the end of the roll. Okay, so this time I'm going to complete my forward roll and land in pike, and then the second time I'm going to complete it and land in straddle, and it will look like this. So I'm going to follow the recipe again. Keep my leg in front of me and land in pike position. Hold it for a couple of seconds, then get up and move on. Okay, so I'll show you again, and this time we'll do straddle. So I'm going to present at the start, complete my roll, nice touch shape, and see if I can land in that straddle position. Really wide legs, arms parallel, and now in front. Okay. Make sure that your cushions are always together, and I'll just show you one final time from this angle. So toes touching the edge, crouching down so your heels go nicely up into the air, hand at the side of your legs like this, chin on your chest, bottom in the air, and roll. Woo! Okay, and make sure that you've got enough room on your sofa cushions, otherwise that will happen. Okay, now we're going to progress and we're going to look at the backward roll now. Now there are 3 different levels to this roll. It's really, really important that we work to our levels, guys. Okay, don't skip the level, don't miss anything out. We all learn at different levels, different speeds. So yeah, just practice each level and progress from there once you feel a little bit more confident. Okay, so first one, we're going to get into a nice tuck position. So flat feet on the ground in front of you, not on your mat. One hand on each shin, very similar to the egg roll. Chin on your chest. All you're going to do, push back with your toes, rock round to your shoulders, forwards and backwards a couple of times. Okay, making sure that you keep that nice, stable body position. Okay. Level 2. Now this is where we introduce what's called bunny ears. Now without your bunny ears you are not going to be able to complete your roll, and you'll just end up stuck with your feet over your head. Okay, so what bunny ears is going to do, you're not going to glue it to your head, you're just going to have them nice and gently at the side facing forward, and when you go backwards you're going to give your mat a high 10 and just push down with your feet going over the top of your head and touching over as well. Okay, I'm just going to piece this together again, so I moved it. Make sure that your station is always nice and safe before you move on and try something again. So I did just move then, so I'm just going to set it up again. So nice set position. So instead of level 1 this time, I'm just going to go bunny ears. I'm going to push, go toes over my head and hands over my head. Toes over my head and hands over my head. Toes over my head and hands over my head. Okay, it is really, really important with the backward roll that you put in as much power as you possibly can. Because if you do it really, really slowly, guys, you're just going to end up stuck and you'll look like this. And you're not going to get anywhere. Okay, so be really, really quick, be really powerful, and push off firmly off the ground. Okay. Level 3. Now we're going to be piecing everything that we've done together to complete the roll. Okay, so with level 3, this time, I want you to really, really watch what I do with my bunny ears. Instead of them just sitting there, what I'm going to do, I'm going to push down firmly on the ground to help my body get over. So I'm going to be nice and tucked. I'm going to explode backwards as fast as I can, push my hands down on the mat so I can complete my roll. So nice setup, flat feet, high knees. Instead of placing our hands here, I'm going to have them on the side of my head, just like bunny ears. I'm going to tuck in, push, and then I have completed my roll. Okay, so I'll show you again one more time. Nice tucked position, flat feet. You don't want to have your feet really, really far away because that we can't generate enough power to get over. So have your heels as close to the start of your crash mat as you possibly can. Bunny ears, nice tucked position. We're going to go in, push to complete the roll. It's really, really important that you push down with your hands so that you can go straight back over. And always, always, always look forwards. Now, if you are struggling to get the power and the momentum you need to complete this roll, we can introduce level 1 again. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to do a couple of rocks, 1, 2, and then on the third one, I'm going to push back, fast as I can so I can complete my backwards roll. Okay. Now a couple of little things that you can do once you've mastered both of those rolls is pair them together and put them into a little bit of a sequence, a little bit of a combination. So I'm just going to do a really quick demonstration of a forward roll into a backward roll. But you guys can include the pike, you can include the straddle. And another thing that we can do, instead of going from a crouching position, we can go from a standing position. Okay, but it's ultimately the same skill whether from crouching or from standing. So I'm just going to really, really quickly show you a little bit of a combination. So I'm going to go forwards into backwards. Okay, so we're going to start forwards, backwards, and stand up. Okay, so have some fun with it, be creative, and see what combinations you can come up with using those two rolls. Right, what have we got now? Here we go. Right, how am I going to do this one in the space that I've got? Right, okay, so now we're going to look at what is called the teddy bear roll. Now, I'm going to do it on the wooden floor because it will not work for me on my sofa cushions, but you might have enough space on your sofa cushions to do it on there. If not, get a nice blanket, put some cushions underneath so it's nice and comfortable for you. And this is called the teddy bear roll. Okay, so we are going to sit at the edge of our mat with straddled legs, wide as you possibly can so they're not bending. You're going to place one hand under each knee, keeping your back straight, and the idea is that we keep our legs in straddle and we roll along the mat in a circle. So if we were to have paint along our shoulders, ultimately we're looking to paint a nice circle along our mat in the directions that we have been travelling. Okay, so I'm going to go onto my right shoulder first. It's really important that you forget what we've done with the backward roll and you don't just go straight back like this. We're going to go to the side. So I'm going to go onto my right shoulder first, then it's the middle of my back, left shoulder, sit up at the other end. Right, middle, left, up. Right, middle, left, up. Make sure you're dragging your straddle legs with you. Right, middle, left, up. Right, middle, left, up. Okay, and make sure that you've got enough space to do it and you are not crashing into the wall. So yeah, it is a really, really difficult one to grasp. Parents, you can guide your children around the mat, so if they are just going straight backwards, help them get used to feeling the motion and the direction that they need to travel. Just gently, by their shoulders, guide them along the mat, just so they can get used to the rotation and the direction and the pattern that they're meant to be following. Okay, right, let's get this back to play with. Okay, so this is called the headstand. Now the headstand has two different variations. There is the baby headstand and the full headstand. Now I'm going to show you how to perform both using just your single crash mat and your station, and then we're going to progress and we're going to use the wall. Okay, that's going to just help us. So I'd like you to start off against the wall and then come back to the mat and work on this. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a triangle with our hands and our head. Okay, so you need to have a nice firm base, so it's going to go here, and then you're going to lean forward and go right into your head. So you've got that nice solid triangle, that nice solid base. Okay, make sure that you can paint the triangle with your finger, from your fingers to your head. You're going to go onto your tiptoes, so your bottom goes right up into the air, and you'll notice that your elbows stick out the side, and that is so that your knees have somewhere to sit, and it looks like this. Okay, now this is called the baby headstand. So you're looking to have that nice straight back, so your knees can go nice and comfortable on your elbow. So you can go one at a time, or some people prefer to jump and catch. And we're just looking to see if we can hold this shape for as long as we possibly can. Now this is where it gets exciting and where it gets a little bit more challenging. Okay, so this time we're going to look at untucking our legs whilst we're in that position. Now the slower we do this, the easier it is. Sometimes if we push our legs up as fast as we can, we shift our body weight and we'll end up falling over on the floor, okay? So you need to bring the feet up together, really, really slowly, just like a yoga pose, right above your head, so you're in a nice straight shape. So, triangle, head pushing forward, right up your head, tiptoes, knees on the elbows, and then we're going to gently untuck and bring our legs right up in the air like this. Now it's quite difficult on a cushion because obviously they do sink into the mat, so if you prefer to just use a cushion instead of a couch cushion, it might be a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to have a little go doing it that way myself. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a couch cushion this time and do exactly the same thing. Okay, so hands can go on the wood this time, head on the mat, tiptoes, elbows outside, and then gradually, slowly, bring my legs up right above my head. Yes. And then you can come back down. Right. Once you've looked at the baby headstand and you've had a go at progressing and untucking and trying to do the full headstand, if you are struggling with it, this is how I'd like you to start. Okay, I should have probably done it in this order. Now, to help you with your shift. Okay guys, sorry about that, it just decided to cut out mid-flow. So what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at the headstand, okay? We're going to look at both the baby headstand and the full headstand, using the wall to start off with, and then progressing to using just your open crash mat. Okay, so, parents, guardians, if you wouldn't mind just supporting your child at the side, okay? Once they've got used and created their triangle, you can use the tissue, so you can show them where to put your hands, because the most important shape with a headstand is a triangle that you are going to create using your hands and your head. It's really, really important that the back of your head is pressed firmly against the wall. There's no gap in between. You place your hands at the side and you put your head right forwards, so I've got that nice strong triangle. From there I'm going to walk on my tiptoes, so my back is touching the wall, and then I'm going to see if I can put one knee gently on each elbow like this, or I can jump and hop in just like this. Okay. Now, once you've got used to getting into that position, you're getting right on top of your head, and you've got that nice straight spine, you can ultimately then try and untuck your legs along the wall. So nice and slowly from there, I'm going to walk my tiptoes in, so my back's touching the wall again, one knee on each arm. I'm going to push my back right against the wall, unfold my legs right up in a straight line, just like this. Now the wall isn't going to go anywhere, so you are nice and stable. And like I said, if you've got a parent or guardian or sibling at the side of you just to support your legs, they can bring you back down the way that you came. Okay. Now once you are confident at doing the skills, against the wall, that is when you can move on and you can progress to just trying to complete it within an open space. Okay. Again, I'm just going to do it on a single cushion, but before you set off, make sure that you've got something to catch you on the other side, just in case your body weight does shift and you do end up doing a forward roll, which does happen sometimes. So just put a duvet down, something nice and comfortable, so if you do fall, you've got a nice soft landing. Okay, so start on your knees, hands at the side. Remember, you can use your tissues if you like to. Head forward, so you've got a nice strong base, so you should be able to draw from fingers to hands all the way to your head and back down. Nice strong triangle. Tiptoes, I'm going to walk in, so my bottom's above my head, knees on my elbows, and then I'm going to gently bring them together and see if I can untuck like this. Okay. And hold it for as long as you possibly can, and then come back down nice and slowly the way that you came. Now it's really, really important with the headstand that you do things as slow as you possibly can. If you go too quickly, your body weight will just shift and you'll end up doing a forward roll. Okay, so again, I'm going to show you the baby headstand at this side. I'm going to tuck the t-shirt in as well, so I keep getting my stomach out like this. So I'm going for Simon Cowell look. Okay, so now hands here, head there. I'm going to walk in, knees on my elbows, nice and slowly, nice and gently, or
You can hop in. From there, you're going to bring your feet together and just slowly untuck them above your head, so you have a nice straight shape. Now there is a couple of progressions with this activity. So once you've got used to going upside down, you can obviously progress it and look at a couple of different challenges. So I'm going to show you two really quickly now. Okay, so hands, head, tiptoes, walk in, legs straight up. Okay, so you're going to see if you can put 1 foot forward, 1 foot backwards, and you're going to see if you can open up into the splits as a second shape. Yeah, just have a play with it and see what other movements you can come up with when you are in the headstand position. Okay, so I think that is pretty much it in terms of all the rules and things. Yeah. Okay, so for the next part of the video, I'm going to be really quickly going through a couple of partner balances with Mr. Guy, and then we are eventually going to show you how to create your very own routines using all of the gymnastics that we have learned so far today. Okay guys, so myself and Mr. Guy are going to really quickly walk you through 3 different partner balances. So if you've got a parent or guardian or sibling at home, someone who'd like to get involved, try and see if you can complete all 3 different balances. Now the first one is fairly simple and the last 2 are quite difficult, okay? So lots of communication, take your time with it and have plenty of turns practicing. Right Mr. Guy, let's get going. So the first pose, Mr. Guy is going to sit with wide straddle legs, arms parallel in front of him, just like we did earlier on in the lesson. From there, Mr. L is going to gently put 1 foot on each of his shoulders and walk out into front support, trying to keep as straight as I possibly can and try not to kiss the wall. Okay, so just make sure that you've got a nice bit of space before you get going. If my bottom was really high up into the air, if I had a little bit more room or shuffle Mr. Guy down, I could walk my hands out so I've got that nice straight bunk bed. Okay, the second position, Mr. L is going to lie flat on his back with his arms up at an angle like this. Mr. Guy is going to put 1 foot at the side of each of my head. There we go. A bit more. There we go. Right, okay. So I've got a nice grip of his ankles. When he tells me he's ready, he's got a nice strong front support. I will lift his legs up and bring them together, just like this. So we've got 2 nice straight bunk beds. Okay. Now I'm going to speak to Mr. Guy, tell him that I'm going to bring him down, and just gradually drop him down the side of it, nice and gentle. Okay. Now a little bit of a progression for the one that we've just done is very similar, but instead of putting your hands on the floor at the side of your partner's legs, this time you're going to put 1 hand on each of their shins. So Mr. Guy's going to get really good grip of my ankles. I'm going to walk in front support and put your legs together. There we go. 1 hand on each shin, and then he's lifting me straight up, looking forwards, and we've got a nice bunk bed position. And then once again, just going to bring me down to the side, and good to go. Right, our final little pose that we are going to look at today. This time, your legs are completely off your crash mat or your blanket or whatever you are using for if you are on the bottom bunk. And Mr. Guy this time is going to stand in line with my waist. So it looks like this. Go through. Yeah, there we go. Right, okay, so good grip of his ankles. There we go. Yeah, really good grip of his ankles. He's going to walk in front support. When he's ready, he'll tell me. And then I'll lift his legs straight up, bring them together, and this is our final bunk bed pose. Once again, if Mr. Guy's bottom was right up in the air, he'd just walk his hands out that little bit further, so he's got a nice straight posture and 2 really straight bunk beds. And once again, I'll spring down. Oh! Oh, dropping. Okay guys, so for the final part of today's activity, on your lesson plan you will find your very own Greatest Showman routine creator, and on the routine creator is all of the skills that we have looked at today. So what I would like you to do is piece together 3 to 5 of the favourite skills that we have learnt today into a little bit of a sequence to create your very own routine. Now I'm going to do a really quick demonstration consisting of 4 different roles. Now you don't have to do
the exact same thing as me. I want you to be creative. I want you to try lots and lots of different combinations and just have some fun with it. Now, I also would like you to do your little routines to some music from The Greatest Showman. Okay, so yeah, let's get going. And that is the end of today's lesson. Now, like I said, you do not have to copy the routine that I just did. I'd like you to be creative, try different things, and yeah, just have some fun with it. Parents, guardians, get involved. Remember the partner balances that me and Mr. Guy did. You can incorporate them into what you are looking at doing. You can add them into your routine. And yeah, just have some fun with it. Take care, guys, and we will see you all next week.
Okay guys, so that is the end of today's gymnastics lesson. I hope you really enjoyed it. We've looked at a variety of different shapes, rolls and balances, and ultimately looked to piecing together our very own routines to the theme songs from The Greatest Showman. In regards to today's lesson, please take your time when you're working through the various skills. Don't rush, and remember, practice makes perfect. And in terms of your routines, be creative and have fun. Piece as many different things as you can together. And yeah, just have fun with it, guys, and see what combinations you can come up with. Have a really, really good week. We will be back again next week with one final lesson before half term. So yeah, have a good week, guys. Take care, and we will see you all soon.